I think a lot of people today are held back by their taste, especially people who don't really take the time to develop their taste. It's just like anything else. If you want a great body, you got to put time into going to the gym to get that. If you want to eat right, you got to learn what eating right means and then eat right. You got to research stuff to be able to figure out what you don't know. And if you want to develop your brain to get smarter, I mean, it's just, if you're trying to learn anything, put the time in. When it comes to mixing, it's very foolish to think you could learn the tools to be able to do things and then just get great mixes. Your taste is such a big part of why you would do something compared to something else, why you would grab for a specific tool. It's because in your head you hear something or it's reminiscent of something else you heard, something you want it to become from something you once liked or something else in a whole different genre than you're doing. You need to have the broad expanse of multiple genres, all kinds of styles, music from decades past, in the modern, everything, new to old. You need to have a good sense of what music is in order to be a great mixer. I firmly believe this. I think it applies to producing also, and people who make their own music. This is the same thing. If you have one specific thing you like and you just take the rest out of it, cut it all out of the potential of something you might like, you're really going through life very sheltered. Very sheltered. Your whole opinion system of what you think is good could all also be, it could be based on one instance or situation you had where something you didn't like was in one genre. Now you think everything is bad. It's the same concept that I had a good friend of mine who hated anything that was a pepper. In other words, he was young. Somebody once told him all peppers are spicy. He just heard the term pepper, and then he immediately wouldn't try any peppers. It was a long time later. I remember thinking, we were out somewhere eating something. I said, try that. It's green peppers. It's delicious. They're sweet peppers. And he was like, no, I don't like spicy. And I'm like, you've been lied to, man. Somebody convinced you that all peppers are spicy, or just the word pepper is making you believe things are spicy, and you're just missing out on all these great things that have the word pepper in them that aren't spicy. So you may not like spicy. I can understand somebody not liking spicy stuff and whatever, but that's not what I'm talking about. There's tons of peppers that aren't spicy, but you've been tricked. You've been now you committed at a young age to thinking all peppers are spicy. Now you go through life not trying peppers. This is the same thing with music. Just focus this on music. You heard something you didn't like in some genre at one point. Now you don't like that genre. Even if it was a couple things, now you don't like the whole genre. You can't do that. You need to have an open mind if you want to create mixes that are great. Especially if, you're focused in one genre, you only make one style, especially then. The people that are the best at this always have the most open mind for what they like. Their taste is expansive. Even if you think they only make one style of music, they like everything, which allows them to do everything. Pharrell is a great example of this. There's a lot of people out there who are like this. Rick Rubin's another one. The only reason he is as great as he is because he has such a wide, vast palette of what is great. And he can pull from things all over in all different genres and all different styles to create something amazing. So you got to do that, work at that. You got to listen to all sorts of stuff. You got to try to like it. You got to, basically, this is going to give you the tools to know what to choose when you're doing any mixes, when you're producing. This is going to actually help you way more than you think. Another great example, Andy Wallace, right? I mentioned him yesterday, but let me talk about the fact that he used chorus effect on almost everything. The chorus effect, which is just basically it duplicates the signal and then it delays one of them and it messes with the pitch. All right, on the most broad scale, it messes with the pitch of one of them, and that kind of combines with the original signal, and it creates a wider effect in your head. It just feels wobbly, feels wider, and it can bring something like bass out of the speakers. It can bring something like vocals out of the speakers, or if you use a ton of it, really wet it down, it can give you depth and sort of make it more smeared or blurry. I mean, it can do a lot, right? Now, the point is, Andy Wallace is using it on bass. He's using it on vocals. He uses it on guitars. I mean, just listen to the Nevermind album. You hear it on Come As You Are on the guitar. You hear it on Kurt's vocal in Bloom. He's got tons of chorus effect. You also hear it on the bass sound on pretty much every song. So what I'm saying is this, and it's not just that album. He does this. Andy Wallace uses that Yamaha SPX, I think it was, that rack mount unit. He uses that on so many things, all on like the same symphonic preset. Like, he's just always using this thing, and mostly because that's something he likes. I want you to realize nobody told him, hey man, this thing's great, you should use it, which is what a lot of people do when they're trying to figure out how to mix. They're sitting there listening to tutorials, just trying to pick up, oh, they say I should use this on this, so I'm going to use it. What you should be thinking is, what do you like? And expand that palette of what you like. And that will draw you to using the right things. This is my personal belief, that the people who are the best at this have the widest range of what they like. So that's where you get somebody like an Andy Wallace using the same effect on so many things. He didn't use a ton of different effects and a ton of different gear, but he knew how to get what he wanted out of things, and he had taste, and his taste is the reason he's choosing what he's choosing. So develop your taste. It's so critically important. It will guide you, and you will like things. You will hear and like things differently than everybody else hears and like things. You may have some similarities, but you are your own unique set of what you like and what you enjoy putting on things and how you like that to sound. This is going to change over time. That's what happened with me. It changes drastically. The more you learn, the better you get. At one point, you want to use a ton of something, then you want to use less. This is just how it is. But my point is, this is why you got to do a ton of work. Also, you have to develop your taste, both in listening and in working in music, what you like to do in your mixes. Because in the same way that it worked for Andy Wallace to use very similar, like always use a chorus sound on bass in so many songs, you'll develop your own things that work for you, if you know what to pick from, because you already have the idea of what you like, what you want something to maybe be, what this is close to, so if I push it this way, it will be more in the right direction. Lean into the production decisions and have that wide palette of where things could go. So just literally, I want everybody, like as if they're working out, trying to develop their taste. You should be forcing yourself to listen to different music out of different genres that you don't typically listen to. You should be doing this like it's a religious habit that you need to keep doing constantly. Because if you don't do that, you're just very, very focused on one thing. In my opinion, you're always going to create stuff that sounds very similar, and you're really hampered. You're really, really hampered as far as what you could do with your decision making, because you only have this one genre to pick from. Many people have mentioned it. I saw it on a comment here a long time ago. Somebody said they often have to go outside of their own genre they're working in order to get the best tips. And, that's a really well thought out, great comment. So I think everybody should learn from that. Do me a favor. Anything like this that you dig, if you want, I appreciate any comment you could drop on something like this, because I think other people who've learned from this in the past could also, impart some wisdom on this topic. I really appreciate it. Hit the like button if you dug it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Evan Jaffe, Custom Cut Studios. You guys got this. Take it easy.